What's up, mi gente? It has been such a long time. So, just, to give y'all some updates. Um, I'm not at the school that I was at anymore. I actually transitioned into a different school. And it's interesting to just see how within the same state, how schools truly differ between counties. Just like something that comes off right at the top of my head is that testing wise, for example, today I gave a summative for my one of my advanced classes, and students asked me, "Hey, are we switching lunches?" And of course, I'm just a little confused. I was like, what what are you talking about, switching lunches? No, mijo, I gotta go to the baño. So, no, suena la campana and you can go. Y entonces se pusieron tan happy, and I was just like, ¿por qué están happy? And one of los estudiantes said, es que cuando tenemos examen, a veces los maestros nos dicen, we're switching lunch, we're going to the last lunch, and then, that way you guys have uninterrupted time for testing. And I can see the positives, I really can. But at the same time, in my brain, you need a quick break, I need a quick break, tengo que ir al baño. So, sorry, no, ustedes aquí la paran and se van al baño, no al baño, se van a la cafetería. And compared to my other school, where I was at originally, no es así. Se tiene que seguir the lunch schedule. And I think maybe what just fascinated me the most about that is the sigh of relief for these students that we're told, no, we're going to keep our schedule and you're good to go, mija, like, it's fine. The I don't want to say the pressures, but that's the word that is coming to my mind, is totally different. And again, to point out what I said earlier, it's interesting to see how in the same state, counties vary so much. Pero at the same time, I guess it kind of takes us into this idea of like, yeah, it's the same state, pero they're all different for a reason. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But anyways, I believe the last tema that I left off was on el maestro or profesor that inspired you. And then we switched into like, first week of school is starting. And, like I said, I am now in a new county and I have fallen behind in everything, trying to adjust, trying to make things make sense. But, excuse me. But yeah, no, I figured it's time to go back into the podcast, and it's time to share the common wealth of these amazing students that I have and hacer que el mundo vea, ¿sabes qué? No sabos or not no sabos, we are here to learn. We are here to be a part of each other's lives for a reason and to make an impact. And as a beloved profesora that I feel like I am, es bonito ver como, aunque seamos diferentes condados, estemos en diferentes condados, the yearning or the wants, the hunger for learning is still there. I think that's the one thing that I'm admiring about both counties. The kids still want to learn. The kids, aside from everything, still want to make an impact a su manera, which might not always be the best one porque pues obvio, no todos crecemos at a different time, like in cuestiones de like decades and stuff like that, pero the power to make the impact or the hunger to make that impact is still there. Pero anyways, that will be a different episode for a different day. Para el día de hoy, los maestros o profesores que nos inspiraron en la vida. So, to start off, I did get a couple submissions, pero con el que vamos a empezar es con el mío. Shout out to my AP history and my German teacher from back in the day. Los adoro, los quiero hasta la fecha. I know one has retired and she moved out of state, and el otro sigue dando clases. And I think, remembering them and reflecting on the impact that they had on me as a student, I can guarantee y'all it's what I reflect sometimes in some of my classes. Not all of them, because, híjoles, man, a veces ustedes me llevan hasta la madre. Pero it's okay. It's okay. Pero anyways, empezamos con my German teacher. She was, or is, because she's still alive. She is this amazing woman, in my opinion, a trailblazer for, I don't want to say specifically like for the German language, but like definitely for a lot of us kids that were in her class. Like I remember, she pushed us, and sometimes it was always like, yeah, señora, please, no más. But she pushed us and pushed us, and those were lessons that we could take and apply it not only in the classroom or like different classes, but also outside of the classroom. And I think the beauty in that was that, she treated us like her kids. Like it was like, van a salir adelante a huevo, lo quieran o lo quieran. And if we didn't want to, yeah, es tu decisión. Pero these are going to be your consequences in life, not just what's in the classroom. And it was like, dang, man, like una mocosa here, they 15, 16 years old, thinking she's like all hot and stuff like that. Oof, pictures to come one day. Not right now, though. It had me reflect a lot. And I can tell you guys, like, even my mom to this day would say, like, wow, una de tus mejores profesores o maestros que te ayudó en una edad donde era necesario. We're adolescents at this time. We're going through things. And sometimes our parents tell us things that we don't want to hear. Because it's just like, cállate. Like, ya pasaste tu edad, me toca a mí. Pero hearing it from somebody else that you maybe admire or don't know that you admire, or somebody that just isn't your parents, it hits different. It truly hits different. And hopefully, chicos, you are able to resonate with that. But if not, bueno, maybe, hopefully, you will come across an adult that will help you that way. In regards to my other teacher, my AP history teacher, híjoles, man, ese hombre, wow. Era un hombre súper mega interesante. Like, oh, tú lo escuchabas hablar and you'd be like, ¿qué? ¿Qué dijo? Bro, can you speak in English, please? And he would obviously just look at all of us and be like, hey, están vivos, like, check your pulses. And we're like, no, we're breathing, dude. It's just what you're saying is not clicking. Like, our brains are turned off. And he'd always be like, no, préndense, like, póngase las pilas. Obviously in English, because he's American. And it was just like, SOS, dude, because these concepts are not making sense. These DBQs, these analytical questions, we need to like bring it down to my level. And of course he's like, no, están en A push, like tienen que aprender a analizar. And it was like, oh my God. Pero, he had a funny way of showing us that he cared. And I think when you would get to see that other side of him, where it was just like, okay, it's not the funny side, it's his serious, like, as a teacher, I truly care about you and the progress that you make and what becomes of you. When you saw that side, it was just like, okay, this justifies everything. Like, it makes sense. And, an example is because of his class, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I had my first car crash because of his class. We were having a study session at the school library, and it was after school hours, and he told us, a las 4 o 5 de la tarde, I think it was, tienen que llegar a la librería. Si llegan tarde, no va a funcionar. Like, treat it as the exam. El día del examen, si llegas tarde, no vas a poder entrar. And it was like, oh, crud, man, okay. So, me alisto, me pongo chula, digo, okay, ready to go. Y estoy prendiendo el carro. And I looked both ways. I swear I looked both ways. Y de lejos, yo vi que venía un van, un soccer van. Porque ahí por donde vivo, o vivía, because I was living with my parents at the time, obviously, había un campo de fútbol. And the kids were practicing, and it was like, okay, it's soccer season, whatever. Y la veo, o sea, veo a la señora, and I swear she's like una milla, 2 millas away from me. So I'm like, all right, I can back up, nada me va a pasar, I'll be fine. Wow, no, híjoles, mano. En los 10-15 segundos that it took me to back out, I think this lady saw me y se echó para atrás. Like, le puso pedal to the metal a su dinky little soccer van y ¡zas! Solo escuchas el chocazo de like, and I was like, oh my God, no. And her van like literally skidded, ¿qué sería? Like unos cuantos pies enfrente. Y my car, I was driving a family car. It got a dent in the back bumper. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad. Pero esta señora, ay, el cuello, me duele el cuello. And I'm over here like, your car is bigger than mine. No jodas, señora. Like, no way. Obvio, pues salió mis papás, llegaron las personas que estaban ahí cerca, like, ay, señora, someone go get the son. Like, pobre, su mamá estaba en un accidente. And I'm over here like, why are you gonna get the kid? The kid's out practicing his little soccer tricks, and you're gonna go tell him, hey, your mom was in a car accident? Like, nah, y'all are gonna bring this little kid and make me feel bad. Bueno, to be honest with y'all, I don't even remember seeing the kid, pero bueno. Llegó la policía. My parents talked to the officer. We took pictures, we exchanged insurance stuff. Apparently I was gonna get a ticket. I didn't know that until más like ya de grande, and I told my parents like, wait, so did I get a ticket and not know about this? La señora me quiso dar un ticket. El oficial pues me quiso dar un ticket, y gracias a Dios I think I didn't get the ticket, if I remember the story correctly. Pero like the insurance claim was I think for a while, because I used to give rides to my sister and her friends. After that accident, I think I kind of got a little bit of PTSD, because I was just like, nah, dude, si eso me pasó a mí sola, o sea, imagínate que si tengo a otros chamacos with me, like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna risk that. I did make it to my study session, though, and cuando yo llegué, le dije, déjame entrar, porfa, and he was just like, no, o sea, llegaste tarde. And I was like, but I had a very good reason. Sí, ¿cuál era? I was in a car crash. He's like, ¿en serio? I was like, yes, I was in a car crash. And because of that, it was not my fault. According to the report, yes, it was. I don't think it was my fault. Que le dijo a la señora que le pusiera gas a su carro y que like tratara de ganarme a la hora de salir. No, but anyways, so yeah, no, I told him I was in a car crash on the way here, and that's what took me so long. The sadness, but then the like, oh, I'm glad you're okay look, oof, that hit me hard, and I was just like, dang, man, he actually cares about us. He's not just like trying to hound us and trying to like, tienen que pasar so I can get good reviews and stuff like that. No, like he genuinely cared for us, and he's just like, are you okay? Like, are you okay to take this study session with us? Are you okay to participate? And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good, dude. She said her neck hurt. I don't think her neck hurt because her car was bigger than mine, and all I did was get a dent in my bumper, but her bumper actually kind of came off. So that's why I was just like, cosa de plástico, like she's fine. Well, anyways, again, whole different story. But it was just like, I don't remember, aside from my German teacher, having another teacher that cared so much, and to realize and see that, no, sabes que, they do care. other people do care. Your teachers care. I think kind of like sat with me in the sense of like, okay, it's my junior year, me queda un año más, o me pongo las pilas o me pongo las pilas, and I will have people to support me, and that was such a great feeling. Oh yeah, no, those are my two maestros, profesores, however you guys want to look at them. They took care of me. And it was so beautiful. And I think being a teacher or a profe today, I do take from some of their techniques, because in my mind, it's what helped build a good relationship, you know? And I'll take it and I'll switch it a little bit. I'll change it a little bit to fit my style. But I do believe that because of that, this idea that, you know, teachers are able to have a good relationship with their students is because of those types of techniques. It's because of those types of ways of teaching, those types of ways of reaching out to the kids. Obviously, you know, there are people to this day that be like, hey, no, stay in your lane. That's fine. I'll stay in my lane. Pero sabes una cosa, do not come at me or do not get mad at me if one of them comes to me and says, I need a place to express myself. At the end of the day, yeah, I get paid to teach, sure. Pero sabes una cosa, there's something that the students saw in me, en decir, yo confío en ti and quiero este momento para poder expresarme. And it's like, okay, there's a boundary, obviously. And I'll do my due diligence, as I should. But if there's no need in that moment, then we're fine. Contar que haya comunicación entre el padre, el hijo y yo, ¿sabes qué? Exprésate, mijo. And I have no problem telling the parent, too, because it's just like, hey, that's why we have this type of relationship, right? Para que todos estemos en la misma página. But anyways, before I keep digressing and making this longer than what it should be, the few submissions that I did get, I had a lot of people say they love and they adore their language teacher or their math teacher, because yes, math is PTSD al max, but some of them actually do try to make it as fun for the kids to enjoy it too. So that's always great. So shout out to all the math teachers, because what y'all do, 2 + 2 is 5. In mi vida, 2 + 2 is 5, and 1 + 1 is 3. So, this one submission that I got said that she adores her French teacher, and to this day, even though she doesn't talk to her a lot, she does wish that, you know, she continues to excel in her material and she continues to inspire those around her. A lot of people, or a lot of kids, usually go for Spanish because they think it's the easiest thing to learn. It's like, nah, dude, no, it's not. But for her teacher to continue captivating students and wanting to take French and to keep them intrigued for 4 years and possibly even into the IB or AP or DE classes, that says a lot. That says a lot about teachers like her. A couple said like, oh yeah, my English teacher, because she makes the the class novel super fun. You know, reading is fundamental. Like, yeah, we might not always like the material that we're reading, but it really does open up the door to different worlds. Like, chicos, if anything, aside from adore and appreciate your teachers, appreciate the readings. A veces nos dan un perspective that maybe we just didn't consider, or maybe it's a viewpoint like, yeah, okay, es un ruco el que está hablando, or like, oh, that person's dead like Shakespeare, like, we don't need to know that. You're right, maybe you don't, but there's a reason it's being used to be taught to you. You know, there's a reason that material is being taught to you even after so many years. To know that Romeo and Juliet is still being taught in some schools, or that To Kill a Mockingbird, or Tuck Everlasting. Oh my God, like, I remember reading Tuck Everlasting and learning so much about fiction in just one book. I promise you, if you open a book, push yourself to finish it, because it will teach you something. Maybe not the bestest of the lessons in life, but it will teach you something. And that's something that you can take with you, and you can use it and reflect on it which is always great. Yeah, no, I keep going off on tangents. I'm so sorry. And then finally, I did get a cute little submission saying like, oh my gosh, Profe, you're my favorite. I was like, oh, little old me, why? But again, you know, it goes back into, I try to channel in my previous teachers, especially the ones that made a huge impact in my life, to continue, I guess, like carrying on their legacy through the work that I do. Comparing this school and my old school, I can still see those tactics or those mañas having a beautiful impact on students. And my hope is to continue inspiring, you know, to old and new and future and past, to just keep pushing you guys in a positive way, of course, to have you guys reflect, to have you guys learn. And I think that's something that a lot of your teachers try to encompass in what they do as well. It's not always the funnest of materials. And we all know this, because even we have to be the ones that teach it. And sometimes we're like, this again? Or at least maybe just me. Obviously, I'm not speaking on behalf of all teachers, but definitely, at least in my experiences, if you're rolling your eyes at like the boring stuff, trust me, we're the ones who have to figure out how to make it fun. So yeah, no, I can only hope that the inspiration continues. Anyways, so apologies for the bell. I think that's my sign to go ahead and sign off, and just as a quick little reminder to be like, love your teachers, be nice to us. I swear, we're not here to torture you. Maybe some of us, but please know we do it out of the kindness of our hearts. It's not easy to torture. As my former students know, it is not easy to torture you. But anyways, cuídense. Remember, there is poder in your voz, and Dr. Maestra out.